Hey guys, it's Dennis here with Revog Games. I'm joined by...
Joshua Vayers, all the way in South Africa.
Yes, but this time we flipped around the time, so it's because usually if
Yeah.
you see, it's like we usually record I live in Los Angeles. We usually record like morning, afternoonish. So you see the sun coming in from my window. As you can tell, it's not. Over there, it's morning for you, right?
Yeah, I just woke up I woke up about an hour ago, yeah.
Yeah. For me,
Um,
it's
been
Friday.
slowly waking up.
For me, it's Friday night.
It's midnight for you, right?
Yeah, just about. But anyways,
Yeah.
we had a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's get into it because yeah, we have a lot of news. Let's start off with the first thing, which got me really excited, was they dropped the Halo Infinite campaign overview video on Monday. It's about 6 minutes long. Went over because they've already had the flights with all the basically the kind of beta multiplayer stuff, so people have gotten to play that. But there's been people kind of speculating what's going on with with the campaign, because one, we know for a fact that on day one they will not have the co-op, right? So that's one thing that people are kind of disappointed about. And people were speculating. We haven't seen much from the campaign since that initial video that came out like almost a year and a half ago. And even what was it like Dr. Disrespect that said that he like Halo campaign was like worrisome or something like that. He said, or he
Yeah.
was worried about it because like nothing
Yeah.
had come out. But anyways, so the 6 minute video drops. It kind of goes over the kind of look and feel. It's different in the sense of it's the first kind of open world, and we don't really know how open world it is, and because we're so
Yeah.
used to Halo being this linear thing, right? They kind of take you on a path, and you've got to go down that way, and that's how you complete the missions. And it seems like this is something where it's like, okay, here's a world, and you kind of pick and choose where you want to go, almost like a Ghost of Tsushima, in Halo form. I don't know how that's going to play out until we actually play the game, but it's definitely something different. I don't know if I'm trying to think, well, what kind of FPSs have I played before that kind of had that feel? I think Rage. I don't know if you ever played Rage.
A long time ago, yeah.
I think they kind of had a semi-open world to it.
Oh,
It's
you're talking about
just...
the open world aspect. I thought you meant mechanic wise.
Yes. Yeah, for
It's
for an
well
FPS, because I'm used to it
for an
for...
FPS game, yeah. RPGs do it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, if some of my
Like
favorite
Outer
games.
Worlds more specifically,
Yeah,
they
and
did like
like,
big open world levels.
yeah,
The Witcher has pretty big, giant open world
uh,
maps.
yeah,
Um,
Fallout, all the
I guess
Assassin's
Destiny
Creed.
kinda. Destiny 2 has some maps that are like pretty
Hmm.
big, but that's like not really. I mean, it's an
But
FPS
it's
game, but
different though. But
you
it's
can
not
see
it's
your
not.
bullets moving. The bullets are so slow, so it doesn't really feel
And
fast paced.
also, Destiny is more of even though it's an FPS, it's you kind of team up to go on raids. You know what I mean? Like
It's very MMO heavy, yeah.
yeah, where we're
Oh
talking
man,
about the
I'm watching
campaign.
the video again while we're talking. It's just the vehicles. I'm so excited for the vehicles in this, Dennis. The
Eh,
vehicles look good. It looks fun. Like I'm really excited for that. That's my biggest takeaway from this campaign overview is that it's going to be fun. I don't really think I care much about the story, to be honest. I know that's sacrilegious. I played Halo 4 co-op the whole
mhm,
I binged it in like 2 days with my roommate.
mhm.
Don't even remember what the hell we did, but I had a great time. Like I don't remember the story much though. So like I'm sure the story will be good, but man, this gameplay just looks fun. Like I like the boss battles. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like going against like the brutes and stuff. It's just different. Like I really enjoy the multiplayer too, but it's gonna be nice to like it's nice to have boss battles and like to try to work out different things to do. You know what I mean? Rather than just like getting cover, shooting, and being really good at aiming.
Uh,
You can do like your melee attacks, your like all sorts of stuff. I like it. It looks really fun.
And the other big thing, obviously, is the graphics, right? I mean, the one thing when that
Yeah,
initial video came out, people were
this looks
complaining.
so much better.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. This looks
Like
like a next
way
gen
better.
game. Remember when the first one came out? It was
Exactly. Yeah.
like that's supposed to be on the Xbox Series X. They're touting this next gen console, and this is what it's gonna be. I mean, they had all those Craig memes. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's funny because like now everyone's like watching this and saying, oh look, it looks like Craig got a glow up or whatever, like an
Yeah.
upgrade, like the they had like comparisons where they put side by side. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous how bad that initial brute looked like in the first
Mm.
video. I mean, it really looked like. Ooh, I want to say like.
It looks a lot better now. I mean, people were talking about that specifically. How all the Craig memes were able to like help them like make a better Craig.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing that they had said. Oh, because of that, I think they were able to use maybe like take it to their bosses. Like, hey, look at this. We're getting reamed on this graphics. We really got to put the time and effort into it, you know. And
Yeah,
when it looks like,
it does look so much better though. It really does.
yeah. They also released this Banished Rise one. Where it's
But
like,
more of like a cinematic trailer, you know?
yeah, it's just I forgot the name of the brute, but he's like just kind of basically saying he's gonna kill Master Chief, and Master Chief's like super weak and all that stuff. It's cool. I like it. You know, even it's simple, but it's like well done, because he's basically just calling him out. It's like, who cares about your puny little whatever Spartan armor? But yeah, the overall the 6 minutes, super excited. I haven't been this excited for a Halo since Halo 3, really. You know, Halo 4, I had fun with it. But definitely wasn't the best. Like my favorite Halo is Halo, or sorry,
Yeah,
of course, Halo 3. Sorry.
Halo 3. I was gonna say OG Halo is pretty good too. Still
Yeah,
holds
OG.
up really well.
Yeah, OG Halo may be my second favorite. I think Halo 3 and then OG. Hello?
Hello? What happened there?
I don't know. Like my whole Discord like went off. Anyways.
Being froze as well. I was gonna say I was seeing some serious. I'm getting some like heavy video lag from you.
That's weird. I wonder why.
Yeah. Look, as long as the recording's fine. Is there lag on your side?
The recording seemed fine to me. I just don't know why
Okay.
that suddenly just did that.
Do you have anything running in the background?
I mean, I was watching a video, but I don't. I was
No,
you know.
I don't. That shouldn't do much. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's better now.
Yeah, I think I
But
was.
for a second, we were. It looked like we were moving in 10 frames a second.
For me, it was fine, except for a few seconds, it like completely
Froze.
stopped. Then it
Oh,
almost
wow.
seemed like Discord got disconnected and then started. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Well,
let me.
it's looking smooth and clean now.
Okay. All right. We were talking about the graphics. Oh, Halo. Oh yeah, yeah. Halo 3 was my favorite, followed by the original Halo. You know, I don't know if did you ever play Reach or ODST?
I have not actually. You know what? I've recently been thinking of playing the I don't know if it counts as an RTS version of Halo, but it's like
Yeah,
the bird's eye view.
yeah.
Yeah,
Halo Wars.
yeah,
It's
Halo Wars. I've been tempted to try that out because it looks interesting,
yeah,
and it's on Game Pass. So
yeah. But overall, like I think this is a really positive direction. So I haven't been this excited for Halo in a long time.
this is the first Halo I've ever been excited for. Like I'll be honest,
Uh-huh.
I've never been like not excited for a Halo. It's never been my cup of tea.
Uh-huh.
And like to be fair, in Halo's prime, I was a heavy Sony fanboy, you know, and I
So
never
you
really
never
owned
got
an
to play
Xbox.
it. So you never got to play it.
Never. Yeah, unless I was at like a friend or a roommate,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like that would be my closest exposure to that. So I played pretty much the whole of Halo 4. I don't even remember it. I just binged it on a weekend. It had so much fun playing co-op and multiplayer and all that stuff. And I played the original Halo. I really enjoyed that one, but I played that like years after its release. I think I played it like 5 years ago for the first time, or 6 years ago for the first time, which is pretty recent.
So it was
compared
like
to when it came out.
kind of the remastered Master
It was the
Chief
PC,
Collection
yeah,
version,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And I mean, I loved it. It
Yeah.
ran smooth. It was good. The shooting was good. But this one, it's a combination. Like I'm excited for the single player, but I'm really excited for the multiplayer. You know, I'm definitely like the multiplayer is free to play, which is awesome. But I'm definitely, you know what? I was about to say I was about to say I'm definitely gonna buy it, but I've got Game Pass.
Yeah, you don't have to
Why?
buy. I mean,
I don't have to.
That's
Yeah.
the whole thing about Game Pass, which is another reason to get it.
Mm.
I think they're right now. Remember we talked about that one thing where it was like, hey, they're kind of like behind schedule, or they weren't there's not
I
as
mean,
many
they're really
subscriptions,
behind schedule with
but
yeah, with Halo.
but I think when Halo comes out, I think you're gonna see a big uptick in Game Pass
Game
subscriptions.
Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's just, yeah, the game looks so much better, man. That's like that 7 minute video or a 6.5 minute video, however long it was, it
Yeah.
just looked good. Like jump like the banshees, you know what I mean? The warthogs, like it just looks good, you know what I mean? And then like like jumping out of a banshee and then like shooting someone with a rocket launcher as you're falling out of it, like
Yeah.
it looks fun. It looks fun for single player, and I like the bigger like the well, I guess they're more like mini bosses really, but I like the fact that it changes the gameplay up, you know what I mean? Like you got a tank that can just like tank your bullets. You can't just sit there shooting. You got to think of something, you know what I mean? I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking for like my only. It's not even I guess semi concern or just like holding reservations about have reservations about is just how they're going to integrate the open world because we just haven't seen that with Halo before in terms of
But
how the
also
campaign works.
my worry is that they said they're doing big open world levels, you know what I mean? And we've only seen the one so far. That's what worries me. And
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're showing off well, they're obviously going to show off the biggest one,
Uh
and it
huh.
looks pretty big, but it's like the others the fact that they haven't like really shown us any other maps, or maybe they have and it just has the same like foliage, you know what I mean,
Uh
like with the
huh.
trees and stuff, and it looks similar. But to me, it all looks like we've been looking at the same maps for all the
Yeah,
videos so
I
far.
want difference. Like in Halo has been good about that, like having different
Mm.
looking, interiors,
Locations and
exteriors,
stuff,
and
yeah.
whatnot. So yeah, I don't want it to be all the same either. But
I
I
mean,
don't
there's
want.
there's definitely going to be a lot of gameplay in hallways. Like
Yeah.
that's unavoidable. It's a Halo game. If you're moving from one point to another point, you're going to be moving through hallways, taking down enemies. There's probably going to be a lot of indoor combat, um, which is why they're showing off a lot of the outdoor combat because I mean that's the most exciting. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So yeah, a little worrisome that they won't show us any of the other maps because it probably pales in comparison to the size.
mm-hmm.
But like, look, as in my opinion, as long as they don't have, because that my biggest issue with Halo 4 when I played Halo 4
Mm-hmm.
was that most of the game was like indoors in tight hallways. You know what I mean?
Mm.
From my experience and what I remember. So it's just I prefer that freedom, even if they don't give us like big levels like they're showing us off in this video.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we both are pretty excited for Halo Infinite, and this campaign overview has just kind of made it
Yeah.
even better. I mean, it's actually it's only a little over a month away, so not
Mm-hmm.
that too far
True.
off. I'm feeling to play some Halo. One big thing that happened, it actually happened last week, but because we had our podcast like kind of right before this dropped, we didn't get to cover this. But the first
Oh yeah.
Uncharted movie trailer dropped,
Yeah.
starring Tom Holland as and Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg playing Sully. So let me get your thoughts first. What did you think? Because you're an Uncharted fan, right? A big
Yeah.
Uncharted fan. Like I've only played like
I
the
wouldn't say
first two.
huge, but pretty big.
Okay, I only played the first two games. So
I played 1 and 3 and the latest one.
okay.
Um,
So
it's
what
weird.
what do you think?
I played the third one. I played the third one first because it came out on its own. I was like, when the third one came out, I played
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
and then, but I think before the fourth one came out, they released like an HD remake of 1, 2, and 3, and then I got to play one. And I was gonna get into 2, but then 4 came out, and I was just more excited for that because it's next gen, better graphics, and it was super fun. It was really fun. Uncharted 4, I like that. It's literally like a freaking action movie as a game, which is why it makes sense that it's an action movie right now.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer looks good except for one shot in particular that leads me to think, what the actual fuck, Dennis?
What?
It's the scene of Tom Holland, and he's free falling,
Mm-hmm.
but his hair is slicked back, And it's like it makes me think of the Kanye West music video when they're backwards on the motorcycle and their hair's blowing in the wrong direction. I was like, how much gel is in this dude's hair or wax is in this dude's hair for him to be free falling out of a plane, like back falling towards the ground, and his hair is still slicked back? Like, why is the surely someone on set must have been like, shouldn't his hair be blowing the other way? You know? But other than that, it looks good. Literally, everything else looks good. It's just the one shot that made me think that's a little weird,
Mm-hmm.
but like a little like immersion breaking. You know what I mean? But then like a second later, he's busy like running up these cargo things that are hanging out of the plane, and it's like and then I'm sucked back in. You know what I mean? I'm immersed again, whether it looks good or not. Like it's high stakes. You
Mm-hmm.
know? And then it draws me back in. But yeah, just that one shot. Also, like it was poor green screen. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can see that like you can see the it wasn't feathered very well between Tom Holland and like the clouds in the back. But once again, it was just the one close-up
Mm-hmm.
shot. I'm sure the rest of the movie's fantastic. You know, you got to keep in mind they did make this during the pandemic. You know, um, they had a lot of restrictions and a lot of difficulties.
Yeah, for me personally, I think I thought it was okay. I just, I still maybe not getting over this Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. Plus, I haven't played. I know in future games they have you playing
Yeah,
Nathan Drake as
you played it.
as a younger kid,
Yeah.
and there's more backstory to that and whatnot. Just because I'm so used to kind of the older Nathan Drake.
In the third game you did that. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the third game gave you like a origin story kind of thing where you
Mm-hmm.
get to play as him as a kid. Yeah. I like actually like for me because I have played that version. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I can totally see Tom Holland as Nathan Drake because
Mm-hmm.
I have seen Nathan Drake as like a young teen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even though Tom Holland is starting to get a bit older, he doesn't look like a young teen anymore. He looks like a still looks like a
He
teenager, but an
still
older
looks
teen.
young, man. He still
Yeah. Oh
looks
yeah. No,
young.
definitely. But like, if you know what I mean, like when you play the game, the guy looks like Nathan Drake looks like he's 13. You know what I mean? When you play him as a kid. Oh man, I'm lagging bad again right now. Sorry about that. But I'd say the movie looks fun. It's not going to be one of those things. Like, look, we're not going to be talking about it 5 years from now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like Dune. We're going to be talking about Dune in like 10 years from now. You know, we're not going to be talking about the Nathan Drake movie.
Yeah, I mean, it
Um,
looks for me. It just looks fine as how it is. It doesn't blow me away. You know what I mean? Like
mm.
I
It looks like
expect.
a really good B plus movie. You know what I mean?
It
Like
looks
that's what I
like
would say. It looks like an average AAA movie, but a really good B plus movie.
to me like like when The Last of Us comes out on HBO. I'm expecting
Mm.
that thing to look and feel
Yeah.
amazing. You know what I mean? So for this one, yeah, I just thought it was okay. I'll watch it in the theaters. It's coming out on February 18th.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, about Mark Wahlberg playing Sully, like, doesn't look like him. Doesn't even have the like
Mm.
feel of Sully. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, considering it's a video game adaptation from the very get-go, I knew that that was gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Also, at the same time, it's like, look, Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland, those are names that sell, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that like the public and Hollywood will never be able to meet eye to eye on, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because the public are like, we want authentic casting, and Hollywood's like, we don't want to take that risk. We're gonna
Yes.
we need international names to sell
Well,
movies
they
internationally.
need people who have never played the game before to
Yeah,
watch it. That's what
to
they
watch the
need.
movie.
So that's why they put
Exactly, yeah.
names in there. So
Which probably, look, I have a feeling more people, like a lot of people are gonna watch the movie, and people are probably gonna love it who have never like played the game, you know?
hmm
Like there are people out there that love the Assassin's Creed movie because they never played Assassin's Creed,
yeah, I
you
don't know
know?
why you'd love that movie. It's a terrible movie.
Neither do I, man. Neither
This
do
is a
I.
horrible movie. Whether you play the game or
Yeah.
not, it's a bad movie.
Oof, man. I'm so disappointed in like this is a bit off topic, but I'm so glad. I'm sad and happy about your Marvel Eternals review. Like I know this is a gaming podcast, but man, I was really looking forward to that movie, Dennis. I haven't seen it yet,
It had a
but
lot of potential, and there's some good
it
things
seems
about
like a
it. But it's just,
trilogy.
yeah,
It seems like a trilogy squished into one movie.
it is.
Oh, it's so dumb. How long is it?
It
Is it like 2.5 hours?
it's like a little over 2.5. So it
Okay, so at least
really,
it's long, but
yeah, but what it needed to be Lord of the Rings. It should have been three
yeah,
Lord of the Rings sized movies,
yeah.
so
Or
they
at
can
the
go on
very
this
least, the Disney
adventure.
Plus series. At the
They're co-
very
they're,
least.
they're trying to
Yeah,
cover too much. Anyways, you can watch my review on
yeah.
on the channel
It was
about
posted, I
that.
believe, yesterday or the day before.
Uh, yeah, I think a day or
Yeah.
two ago. So you can
So it's
check
it's
that
on the
out.
channel right now if you guys want to take a look
Yeah,
at it. Yeah.
yeah. But speaking of Marvel stuff,
Mm.
the next thing we want to talk about is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has come out. The game, Square Enix is publishing it. They also published Marvel's Avengers, and I feel like because of that, it's not going to do as well sales wise, and it's a shame because apparently I haven't
Yeah.
played it yet, but apparently all the reviews are kind of saying it's really good. That it's
Yeah.
maybe not an A, but they're like it's a B plus type of game. You know,
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say from every all the YouTubers and streamers who have played this, they're all saying that the biggest thing that they're saying is it's fun.
yeah.
Like it's like I think one of the reviewers that I have a lot of respect for, Moist Critical, Charlie, he did a review on it where it's like, look, it's fun. By no means is it an amazing game, but but it's like you're getting your money's worth.
Hmm.
There's fun. There's a lot of banter. There's so much dialogue between, not like unskippable, but I'm saying like while you're moving around, like you can literally just stand still and the characters will like talk for like 10 minutes between themselves, just banter. Like nothing to do with the story, but you can literally just like you can leave the game AFK and they'll just be like talking and joking with each other, which I think is great. But some people are like, "Oh, it's a bit annoying. They never shut up." And I was like, "Dude, it's the Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxies. They're not busting each other's balls every minute. I don't want to play it. You know what I mean?"
yeah. That's in
Um,
line with their characters. It's in line
exactly.
with
Yeah.
their relationships and whatnot. And so basically, what I've been hearing is with Marvel's Avengers, right? A lot of the blowback was on the multiplayer. They're like
Yeah.
they're trying. It feels like they were trying to like,
And
kind
well,
of.
they squeezed it into the single player, which was the problem as well.
Mm,
Like all these like they were like they made you play the story line, which is great. I love the storyline. I
mhm,
just finished it recently, by the way. Yeah, in the middle they just jammed in the multiplayer mechanics because I guess they wanted you to get used to the multiplayer game, but
mhm.
it was like or to get you kind of ready for multiplayer through playing the single player. But it was just like Guardians of the Galaxy is if they did Marvel's Avengers where they just focused on the single player, that would be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
It's essentially like that's a good way of putting it. Like if you played Marvel's Avengers and you enjoyed the single player and you hated every multiplayer aspect of it, then play Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. My biggest gripe about the game, I do want to get the game and I do want to play the game, but 80 gigabytes for an 18-hour campaign,
mhm.
like that's a bit of an entry
That's a
barrier.
lot.
Well, then again, I suppose, look, you can finish it in 2 days and then delete the 80 gigs, you know? But considering that it's an 18-hour campaign, which is a fun campaign, you know?
Yeah,
The story's pretty good, it's funny, there's banter, you know what I mean? The gameplay mechanics are pretty repetitive but fun. You know, I'm okay with repetitive mechanics as long as they're fun, you know? And they're fun, so it's okay. But yeah, the game's about 80 gigs, you know? Which is pretty big for 18 hours of campaign, you know, and not much replayability because it's one of
yeah,
those games where once you play it, you're maybe you'll play it again a couple years later when you've forgotten the story or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
you know?
But I heard it's a great adventure. I heard the story is good, the
Oh yeah,
dialogue is good, so all that stuff.
graphics look great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Well, yeah, the graphics do look good. I'm definitely gonna get it. I think I might I might wait for it to be on sale. Um, just because there's other games that
I've got so much
uh
stuff to play right now, so it's
yeah.
I want to
Well,
play it.
there's
I will play it in the future at some
yeah.
point. I just got to find the right time.
Yeah, I
So
just
and
threw
also
down
the right
the
price, right? Like
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not worth $60. It's just like at this time for me to pay
For
$60.
18 hours of gameplay though, like an
Also,
18-hour campaign is a bit like I don't know, $60, 18 hours of fun, whereas like
I don't mind that as
you,
much.
usually you
Kinda,
pay $60 and get like 40 hours, minimum,
it depends on what type of game it is. I mean, like Control was I paid $50, $60 for. It's only like a 12, 13 hour
Oh.
uh storyline.
It took me about 18 to 20 hours to
Okay.
finish that game, but it's because I was always looking around for things, man.
Yeah. It's
Um,
actually a hard game too.
it
That
is.
game.
It is. Like if your aim isn't up to par, man.
Yeah. Well, you have to
know.
combine all the stuff, like not just the aim, the flying, blocking, all that stuff.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyways, no, for me, like 18 hours, that's not my problem. Is let's say I buy the game now for $60. It's probably worth $60. Problem is if I don't play it
Definitely
right
gonna get a
now,
discount soon as well.
yeah, if I don't play it right now, then I'm wasting money because if I, let's say, find the time to play it 3 months, 4 months, 6 months from now, at that point it's going to be like $40 or something. You know what I mean? So it's like might as well just
Exactly,
buy
yeah.
it when I know I
I
have
think
time
it'll
to
get
play.
dropped to 40 soon. Like they just want to make like their initial money from the initial sales.
Yeah. Well,
And then
unfortunately,
I do see them dropping the price to 50, maybe $40.
unfortunately for them, I told you, like I said before, they're getting hurt by the fact that Marvel's Avengers wasn't as well received. So people kind of
Yeah.
have some of that bad taste in their mouth. So a lot of people are like, "Ah, well, I just, I paid $60 for that game. Do I really, even though this is, a totally different game. And
Yeah, it's a linear single player narrative driven game and it works,
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah.
But but just as long as you know what you're getting out of it. Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to hurt the sales. I think the game's going to do it's like you said, it's well received. I think it will do well, but not well enough to like warrant a sequel, which is unfortunate, I think. I think a sequel would have been great, especially because it's like because it is a good quite a fun story, I think a sequel would have been I would even argue that I would have liked an Avengers sequel, the storyline, what
Yeah.
I mean, not the multiplayer,
I enjoyed the single player campaign. Multiplayer
Yeah.
was just multiplayer is fun at first, but then it just gets too repetitive. You can't really. There isn't much.
Yeah, and there's just
different.
also a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs with the multiplayer.
There wasn't a lot of variation in terms of the maps and what you had to do and whatnot. So,
and the missions weren't very like different either. You know what I mean?
yeah. All right, let's move on. This next
fun game.
This next one's actually a pretty big piece of news, but in terms of the world, in terms of but in gaming, it's only kind of big news. So Facebook / Oculus, they had their Connect. So basically, you kind of knew something was up because one, this used to be Oculus Connect. It used to be called Oculus Connect, and it was only Oculus stuff, right? Then later, they kind of took away the Oculus name and said it was called Facebook Connect, and they would cover Oculus stuff as well, right? And be Facebook and Oculus. And then people started noticing all the kind of graphics for this upcoming Connect was just like Connect, right? Because they didn't have like a name for it. There was also I forgot if it was on the Twitter or Instagram for Oculus. They had the Oculus logo, but it was like faded and like kind of like disappearing away. So anyways, big news. Facebook, which owns Oculus, but they're kind of redoing the whole thing in terms of branding. They're calling it Meta because the whole presentation they talked about the metaverse they mentioned it like 50 million times. And anyways, so one, Facebook has a lot of negative, PR from kind of all the stuff that they're being accused of letting kind of a lot of toxic, a lot of horrible things.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Like the mental health effect on children.
Yeah, not only that, but like private groups, letting private groups foster violent,
creating a bigger divide. Because I guess the divisive things, divisive news hits harder,
Gets more views, more clicks, and then you can sell more ads. But anyways, so in a turn to rebrand themselves into a more positive life, they've decided to call the whole entire company Meta. So there's no Facebook anymore. It's supposed to be called Meta. It's not Oculus Quest anymore. It's supposed to be.
I think they're all still going to have their same names because they're saying it's the parent company is going to be called Meta.
They're going to phase it out by the end of next year.
Oh wow.
So yes, for now, that's Facebook
I mean,
and
WhatsApp's still going to be
Oculus.
called WhatsApp probably. Or do you
Yeah,
think WhatsApp? I mean, WhatsApp and Instagram aren't going to be named
yeah, I
Meta
don't think
either.
so. I don't think so.
It'll
I
just
think
be
that'd be
Facebook
yeah.
will be called Meta.
Yes, and I think
Uh,
Oculus will be called Meta as well because they're integrating the two, right? The whole thing. If you
yeah.
watch the presentations, they're showing the social world in VR and how that's going to exist, and using the kind of social networks that are exist in Facebook, and combine that with the VR platform. So that was some big news. There wasn't that much gaming news, much to the dismay
Yeah.
of myself and other VR heads. The biggest news, which was good, was that they announced Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is coming
Yeah.
to the Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about Meta real quick while
Okay.
we're here. Because Google did the same. Google did a similar thing where they renamed their parent company Alphabet.
Yes.
That's why I still think that there's a possibility Facebook might. Well, I think Facebook will be named will be changed into Meta, but there's also a possibility they might not, and they might just from now on refer to the parent company only. You know, Meta. Like whenever it comes to news and stuff. You know.
Well, I mean, Facebook.com is still going to exist or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I do believe if
I think they'll
I
start
read
with.
correct,
I think they'll start with like Facebook Meta, and then eventually phase out the Facebook. You know,
possibly.
like maybe they'll do that or something. But the reason I want to talk about it is because the biggest takeaway from this is that Zuckerberg announced that in the future, in order to access any of the metaverse products, you do not need to use a Facebook account
Hmm.
in the future. Which also means Oculus Quest, you will not, you will, I don't know when, but in the future,
I
you
mean,
will not
currently, right now, you need a Facebook
you need
account.
Facebook to play Oculus Quest games, yeah.
Yes.
But in the future, you will not, which is wonderful because I think it's so ridiculously dumb.
So,
that
so
yeah.
yeah, but at the end of 2022, he's gonna be like, "Ha! I fooled you guys
Fooled you.
because you need a Meta account."
Now you need a Meta, and you need
Yeah.
to like confirm your age, and
Yeah.
it's what's crazy to me is like, because I remember like back when they for the Oculus Quest, they were like, you can't have a fake Facebook. They were like,
Well, they started
or-
bricking people. They started bricking
Yeah.
people's Quest, even if you had a real one, but like maybe you
So,
hadn't
like,
used it in a while or
your
something.
ID. You have to take a photo of your ID or
Yeah.
passport and prove that you're real. Like I was
Yeah.
like, what? Who the fuck? You're not the government. Like who are you?
It's also all you want to do is play a freaking game. Like why?
Honestly, I feel like I'm sure there's probably like a way to jailbreak it out there. Like I'm sure you can just jailbreak your Quest. You know, that's what I would do. I would just jailbreak the freaking Quest 2. You know,
It's
I don't-
very
like-
weird. It's very weird now. So on the Quest right now, you have your Oculus friends and you have your Facebook friends on there, and you could chat with them separately, and then you can look up your Facebook friend. It's all weird. It's like separate but the same. It's just kind of a mess, to
I
be
mean,
honest.
I guess it'll make a lot more sense once it's like fully integrated. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
Whether we like it or not, who knows? But yeah.
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 They also announced another headset, but the problem is so people saw
Project
the
Cambria.
yeah, but people saw this leaked beforehand. These videos were actually leaked like a week ahead of time, and people were speculating, "Oh, this is the new Oculus Quest Pro, and it's going to be a Pro model of the Quest. You know, it's like going to be the next step up from a Quest 2." But actually, you found out it's actually not. It's a separate
It's like
thing.
A downgrade. Like
No, it's not a downgrade. It's made more for commercial purposes.
Commercial
and
use, yeah, because it looks a lot like skinnier. If that
It's
makes sense.
smaller. It's lighter
Yeah.
weight. But it has eye tracking, facial tracking. It actually has body tracking, and the way they do it is they use a mirror.
Oh wow.
Or you can buy, sensors like you
Like
can for like the
the
Valve
cameras,
Index.
yeah.
But yeah, it's much more for commercial use. And it's
Yeah.
also not going to be cheap. They said like this is not because
It reminds me of the previous headset that we covered like a week or two ago. From
Vive Flow, HTC
oh.
Vive Flow.
yeah. Oh, actually, I see in the article here they mentioned that. But yeah, it reminds me of the Vive Flow, which like once again also very commercial use. You know.
Yes. So yeah, because remember with the Quest 2, they're taking a loss on each one because those things are more expensive than what you're paying for, but they're making that money back on the games. Also
Yeah.
because they want to create this, social network in the VR world, which is, the metaverse for them, and so they want to control make it the biggest platform there is, so that people, whenever they interact or whatever, buy virtual goods or whatever, use their platform. So
Yeah, and let's go back real quick because I know I kind of interrupted you as you
mhm.
pulled up the more important news there, which is that they're doing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas VR.
Yes.
Um, I don't really know how I feel about that, but
Uh,
at the same time, I suppose if you compare it to the success of Resident Evil 4 VR, it makes sense because
yes.
for me, it's one of those games where it's like, yeah, the idea of it sounds good, but it's like it's still like even the remaster version of GTA San Andreas looks really old, you
Mhm.
know? I mean it looks crisp, but you're still like dealing with heavy polygons, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I'd love to play GTA San Andreas, but then when I walk around the streets and I see these people with square triangular faces, it's gonna be a bit off-putting, you know. Um, but it could still be fun, you know, like driving around, doing
Mhm.
drive-bys, to stealing cars in VR, might give people the thrill they need in life, you know. Um,
I'm super excited for it.
I think it's gonna be fun. I just don't know if it's like. I feel like I feel like it's gonna be the kind of game where I have a lot of fun, and then every now and then I'm gonna see something and it's gonna annoy me. But
Hmm.
maybe that's just me personally, you know?
Yeah, they didn't show any footage from it. I mean, it must be very early
Yeah.
stages. And Oculus is working directly with Rockstar to port it to the Quest, much like they did with Capcom for Resident Evil 4, which I'm going to talk about
Hmm.
next. Um, so yeah, the Resident Evil 4 VR success is kind of
Do you think that this is possibly a precursor for a GTA 5 VR? Because GTA 5 does have a first-person mode, and people have speculated for a while maybe we'll get
possibly.
VR support in the future.
If it does
Um,
well, yeah, sure. And then
yeah.
there's this whole thing. I mean, with the Resident Evil 4 VR thing, is like, hey, let's take older successful games and port them to VR if it makes sense,
Mm.
right? I mean, we know. Sadly, they didn't talk about this. They had talked about this at a previous one, Connect, about there was going to be Ubisoft was working on VR games, and they were going to have a Splinter Cell and like
Yeah, I would have
Assassin's
loved a
Creed
Splinter Cell VR,
and Assassin's Creed. Well, Splinter Cell makes perfect sense. The way that a
for
game
VR.
is.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
stealth. I mean, you're
Crouching,
wearing
you know what I mean?
goggles. Yeah, crouching. Like Splinter Cell
Where
is
yeah,
still.
especially the wearing goggles. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
hell
go
yeah.
get behind someone and grab them, and you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
Splinter Cell is definitely made for VR.
Assassin's Creed could also kind of work, but
Yeah.
they would have to make it a standalone version because the ports wouldn't work because it's too
Yeah.
too big open
Yeah.
worldy.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
run.
And also, you're gonna get sick if you like jump off like the
Exactly. They'd have to make it
build
way
is.
more stealth orientated, but it could
Yeah.
work. Like actually, honestly, if it was like the original Assassin's Creed, I
Mhm.
think you could get away with it. The newer ones not so much because they are very like action heavy.
Mhm.
Like well, the combat is very like hack and slashy action, but like the first Assassin's Creed games, like it
Mhm.
was a lot more emphasis on stealth. If it's like that, then yeah, that could have been cool.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely excited for it. At the end of the day, I'm excited for it. Um, I hope that they change things up a bit or like make I wouldn't say like maybe like make mini games
Mhm.
or like I don't think they'll put too much effort into it, but like one of the first missions in GTA San Andreas is you have to go and spray paint over the gang signs in your neighborhood. You have to spray your gang sign over the
Mhm.
other. And I hope that they like at least give me the option to like, spray. I don't like maybe not physically, but at least like, move my hand to do like the
Oh
movement. I don't want
yeah,
to click
they
yeah, I don't want to click a button and then boom, it's on the wall. I
no
want to actually
way. They're
let
gonna
me like
make
put
you
my hand out and
yeah.
spray.
No,
Yeah,
because the
like
trigger's
that'd be
perfect
fun.
for the spray, right? The trigger for a VR controller is
Exactly.
perfect for a spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
definitely gonna have that.
I'm not looking to be able to paint in the game, but
They'll probably
like
have like this.
I'm still okay with it like being slapped on the wall, but I just want to be
Yes,
able the motion. I just want the
they'll
motion, you know?
slap on the outline and you just spray it on, and then it like
Hmm.
magically looks good. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to
So
make it look good; they'll make it look
there
good.
there's one thing about GTA San Andreas. There's actually a lot of things about GTA San Andreas that most people don't know or haven't noticed. And I'm assuming a lot of these little tidbits that I know are probably going to be removed for the VR version. For instance, when you're driving, if your driving skill is low, when
Mm-hmm.
you reverse, you you like physically turn your body around to look behind you.
Uh,
But as you get your driving skill up, he uses the freaking rearview mirror.
uh,
Like he gets better. Like you can like see he doesn't like turn around to look anymore. He actually
mm-hmm.
just looks at the rearview mirror. So I wonder if that's they'll probably take that out of the game where it's like your driving skill can be improved, but you'll be able to look around freely. Obviously, you're in VR, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to Grove Street, man. Going to Grove Street in VR, hell yeah, I'm down.
Um, all right, so I want to talk about the next thing was Resident Evil 4 VR. I actually got to start playing it. I haven't finished it. I'm about 2 to 3 hours into it. I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't gotten deep enough into it where I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. But apparently, a lot of the reviews have given it very high scores. Um, Graphics are a little disappointing, I guess, maybe because they're using the old
Yeah,
graphics from the GameCube version or whatever other version that they have, because it's not the best graphics I've seen on the Quest 2. And I was thinking, oh, they're going to put Resident Evil 4 over, and the Quest 2 is the more, because it's exclusive on the Quest 2, which means, like, okay, we don't have to worry about going on the Quest 1. Because, like, if you ever played Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, they have,
yeah,
you can play it on the Quest 1 or the Quest 2, and you can see in the Quest 2, like, how much better it looks. And just in general, the Walking Dead Saints and
yeah.
Sinners looks a lot better than Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is like a lot of the textures are all like samey. They look all the same,
Yeah.
a little muddled. It's not like it's not super crisp or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's my worry with the GTA San Andreas VR thing as
Mhm,
well, you know. Even with the HD remaster, it's you're
mhm,
still dealing with heavy polygons, you know.
mhm. So yeah, I mean, I haven't played it enough of Resident Evil 4 to give it a review yet. I actually was going to do a first impressions video, and then I found out because we have a press Oculus account, right? That
Yeah.
has some of the games that we can do for reviews, and so I have that as like my alternate account on the Quest, because on the Quest you can have multiple accounts. I have my regular account that's mine, and then I have the press one so that I could review stuff. And I recorded video footage, because you can record straight off the Quest. And apparently, there's no way to actually get the video off of a guest account.
Oh wow.
It's so weird. You can record it, but it goes and it's
Isn't
like,
that like detrimental to reviewing?
well, most people reviewing would just have it as their base account, their main account.
Oh, okay.
I just happen to have it as my alternate account, right? So anything I record on my account is in
Will
there on my
work, yeah.
Quest, and you can tell, like, I can see that it's been recorded. Like, I can see how big the files are. I can see I can watch the videos in the
You just
Oculus
can't
Quest.
export it.
I just can't get it. I can't actually. There's no way to like go into, even when you hook it up to a PC and go to explore and search for it, which I can do with my own account. You can't find it anywhere. But I know it's recorded. And it's on the Quest. And it's taking up space, but I just can't get at it, which is really, really annoying. So I
That
don't know.
is,
I gotta figure out what I want to do with it. Maybe I'll just wait till I finish the game and then just do a review with some random B-roll, because there's nothing. I wanted to get specific video to like, show what I was talking about, but apparently that is not in the cards. But yeah, you can tell it's an older game when you play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I've never played Resident Evil. That's another thing. I've never played Resident Evil 4, and apparently it's the Skyrim of Resident Evils. Like, it's just apparently been ported to like everything, and
Oh yeah.
because it's like a classic
I
Resident
can't
Evil
remember if
game.
Resident Evil 4 was the one that I hated or if it was 5.
Must have
It was
been
either 4 or
5
5
because
that I hated.
everyone apparently loves 4. So
Yeah, it must have been 5. It was the one where it was basically just a freaking bodyguard game where you're just bodyguard, like you were just
mhm.
like dragging this chick around. I think it was 5.
It might be 4, because I know you're supposed to save the president's daughter in 4.
Oh no, but like, is it the whole game? Is like, are
I
you
don't
with her the
know.
whole game?
I don't know. I
Oh,
haven't rescued her yet, so
wait, what hair color does main character have?
Leon,
Leon,
he's
yeah,
got blonde hair.
blonde hair. Okay, yeah. No, well, all I know is the one I hated was universally hated, so it must be 5.
It's got to be 5 then. They wouldn't have reported
Yeah,
4 everywhere. Plus, I played about 2-3 hours into it, and I haven't actually rescued her. I assume I rescue her at the end of the game, so I don't
yeah.
think I'm like running around with her.
It
Maybe,
just reminded me. It reminded me of like an RPG or an MMO in the beginning where you're just doing fetch quests.
hmm.
Like the Resident Evil that I like. I don't think it was 4. It must have been 5. But it was just so many freaking like like fetch quests and bodyguarding and like it's. I was like, oh my god, just let me shoot things.
No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm trying to find her, so I'm just killing all these people.
Yeah. This next bit of news boggled my brain. Like when where the hell did this come from, Dennis? The Wu-Tang Clan thing?
Oh yes, the Wu
Like
Tang.
what the hell? I think it's first of all awesome,
I
but
think
like
it's
what the
awesome.
fuck?
So there's a report that a Wu Tang Clan game is being made into a third-person RPG by Microsoft. I think that's cool. As long as they put
Yeah.
the time and effort and the resources behind it, I think that could be actually really cool.
I was
Um,
gonna say as well, I like the idea of it. I really like the idea of it. Also, like, I mean, it means they can use their music as well, which is cool. But when they say third person combat RPG, that can mean two very different things. Either it's gonna be like, because I mean, that sounds like they're saying action RPG, which could mean like a Diablo type
ye-
game, you know? But it could also be a third person combat RPG could also very much be a Dark Souls type game, you know what I mean?
I
Um,
think it's closer to like a Ghost of Tsushima
yeah,
style, Assassin's
that's
Creed
true. I
style.
guess they would say I guess they would have said isometric instead of third person. If it was
Yeah,
going to be more like Diablo, they would have said isometric. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think you're right. It'll be more like yeah, it's going to be a
Oh,
third. Yeah,
you know what it's also gonna be like? It's gonna be like the Black Myth Sun Wukong.
Wukong. Yeah,
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 because it's
Wukong.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
so
they
excited for that, Dennis. Thank you for reminding me. God
yeah.
damn. I hope we get an
Because
update on that
remember,
soon.
the Wu Tang is the name is based off the
Yeah,
old
Wu-Tang
kung fu
Clan,
flicks.
man.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I assume they're
they loved those movies. Like, well, I mean, clearly because they freaking named themselves the Wu-Tang Clan. But they like I watched documentaries on the Wu-Tang Clan. They loved those freaking movies, Dennis. They
yeah,
like they were raised on those Chinese movies.
yeah. So that's coming out. Another thing which was weird was that happened this past week, but I really don't know what much to say about it. But the state of play for October 2021 for PlayStation happened,
Mm.
and there was no new announcements. Oh, except
Besides Star Ocean,
yes,
that
a brand new
like
Star Ocean
yeah,
game called Star Ocean: The Divine Force is coming to PS4 and PS5 next year. And then they gave a look at the Little Devil Inside, some gameplay for that, some Bug Snacks, free update is coming.
this
Uh,
OFK is new as well, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
Five Nights at
First Class
Freddy,
Trouble.
Five Nights at Freddy Security Breach launches later this year.
Some
Uh,
people will be excited for King of Fighters 15. Um, I just it might be sacrilegious to say. I just like I don't know why you play King of Fighters when you can just play Street Fighter. You know?
yeah, I mean, I was always, I played some King of Fighters when Neo Geo was like kind of the in thing for like a few months, but
Mm.
really Street Fighter was my jam. And the only reason I played King of Fighters or any other fighting games was because of Street Fighter. So,
Yeah. The
uh,
I will say the new Five Nights at Freddy's looks very like different. Like there's supposed to be like these creepy mechanical objects, right? But now they look like creepy mechanical superheroes. I don't get it. It's interesting to say none the least. I am look also the little devil inside.
mm-hmm,
That did look quite good. They showed off
mm-hmm,
some gameplay for that. It actually did look pretty decent. It looked pretty cute. I'm mostly excited about Star Ocean. I'm not too happy with the way it looks in my opinion, but the gameplay looks kind of fun. Yeah.
what is
Also, it's
it?
just
What is
been
it you don't like about it? The animation style.
well, like the world looks good. It's just
Mm-hmm.
and in the trailer they don't really show it. You can actually only really see it in the like literally the first couple seconds. I just don't like their faces. Everything else looks great though. Like there's this one, there's yeah, that I don't know. Some of their eyes are a little weird, but other than that, it looks great. It's just like some of the characters have weird eyes, and it's not like the anime eyes. It's like some of the eyes just look like they're like I don't know. It's weird. Some characters look perfectly fine, but then there's like one or two characters where I'm like, yo, your face looks weird, you know. And you know what? It doesn't matter because the world looks good. It's yeah, I'm excited for this because it's so different from the previous games. It's like it's people are considering it. I mean, some people are referring to Monster Hunter World, saying that it's similar, not just because of combat, because it's kind of like a, I wouldn't say a rebooting, but like a big jump from like Monster Hunter World was a big jump from previous Monster Hunter games in terms of graphics and in terms of like what you would do. And I think this is, I mean, you're going from basically like old school like JRPG to kind of like new school action RPG. Um, but it looks good. I'm excited for Star Ocean. That's the only thing from State of Play that I think was interesting. Other than that, the State of Play was kind of boring.
This was like not. I mean, it came out of the blue. I don't know how much we can talk about it, but Nintendo basically confirmed that they're closing their Northern California and Toronto offices.
Do we know why?
It said it affects 100 employees. Apparently, there's a resignation of their senior vice president of sales and marketing, Nick Chavez, who will be leaving Nintendo to join Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's a different move.
Is it to work on the KFC console?
I don't know. And
That was a joke, a bad one.
But yeah, the headquarters are in Washington and in Vancouver, and they're gonna move.
I wonder
Some
why.
of their
'Cause
employees.
It's not like Nintendo was losing money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess with the pandemic and people not really working that much out of offices anymore, or at least
Oh, that makes sense. It probably just became obsolete for them. You know?
yeah. So, but then again,
That's unfortunate for the people working there.
yeah. So I think some people are gonna be let go, and then some are gonna be relocated if they agree to. You know what I mean? Some people don't want to move. You know?
Yeah. No, true.
Because Vancouver is on the opposite side of Toronto, and Washington's not close to the Bay Area, so that is, yeah, that was just, yeah. I don't think they're making tons of money off of the Switch and all the games, so I don't see that as a money choice in terms of saving money because they feel like they're not really getting anything worth that while out of it. But I don't think it's because they don't have money. So that was an interesting piece of news. This one, I don't know if you saw, but the Witcher Season 2 official trailer came out for Netflix.
Oh, no. I didn't see that. I'm excited for that, though.
I did not watch Season 1 yet. I keep meaning to. I'll be honest with you. I tried watching the first season, and not that it was bad or anything like that, but I just wasn't either following along or getting into the characters or story like I thought I would be.
Yeah.
But
I enjoyed it, but not as much as what I thought. I thought I would have enjoyed it more. You know what I mean? I still enjoyed it though, but
I didn't realize it's actually one of the top Netflix series, like of all time. Like if you look at obviously Squid Game is number one, and it surpassed that show Bridgerton. But Netflix is actually, or sorry, not Netflix. The Witcher is actually up there in terms of worldwide.
Oh wow.
Because maybe just because in the U.S. people aren't really talking about it. People in the U.S. don't really talk about it.
I mean, like for me at least, considering how much when the season 1 came out, that toss a coin for your Witcher that blew up, and considering how much that blew up, that's when I knew, oh wow, this is like an international thing. You know what I mean? Where everyone's watching The Witcher. You know.
The trailer looks good, so maybe I'll give it another shot. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I still haven't even finished Stranger Seasons season 3. Stranger Things
Oh,
season
you
3.
haven't?
Dude,
It's pretty good.
I don't
It's a
know.
good
I
season.
don't know why, but like Stranger Things, most people I know like absolutely love it, and I enjoy it. I like it, but it's not like for me. Like when I watch an episode, I'm just not like, oh, I gotta see the next. Like Squid Game was like, oh my god, I have to watch the next
Mm,
episode. Like I had to,
yeah.
binge watch that. There's a lot of shows like that.
I feel like I'm the only person who didn't have like I liked Squid Game,
Uh huh.
but it's I think because I'm so used to that type of content because I've read and watched so much manga and anime that have the exact same premise.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed it though, but I was like for me it was like I off the top of my head know like 5 shows with the same
Yeah.
premise,
See, for me, it wasn't the premise that got me. It was the
The acting was
execution.
good. The
It was the
acting was freaking
execution of it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The execution, the acting was good. The thing that kept me coming back was the acting, I think. And
Yeah.
like it was I guess you're right, the execution, it was filmed really well. The pacing was good.
Yeah,
And that's
it
important.
just
The
it made
pacing
it
was
was
really
very
good.
tense. Like that's like I
Mm.
don't know if you've watched HBO has a show. It was I don't think they're gonna have a season 2. Maybe they will, but at least there was a season one season which was Mar of Easton
Oh
or
no.
Easttown that Kate Winslet was the star of. If
I
you look
I heard of it.
if
Well,
you look at it on paper and if you actually read out the plot and the characters and the story beats and all that stuff, it's pretty much you've seen that. You've
yeah.
seen it before. There's nothing new in it, but it's done so well. It was like one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows this year, but it was nothing new.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed Squid Game too. Funnily enough, I'm actually enjoying all the Squid Game like homemade games coming out. People are like, I think like Squid Game on Roblox blew up. Gaming wise, we may as well talk about it. But people like, I mean, adults are playing Roblox just to play the Squid Game on Roblox. Like
All I know is why are all these little kids dressed up as Squid Game characters and also
for
are
Halloween.
and yes, and also are playing the Squid Games, the various Squid Games at school. Like they at certain
Yeah.
schools they had to like ban people from like because they were like being too
I
rough
guess you
with each
could
other.
like, I mean, like, hey,
It's a
look, like,
violent show, man. It's
I
a
agree,
violent.
but like, I guess the only one that they can really do is the red light, green light.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then it's like you're out. They're not
Yeah.
dead. They're just out. There's no one's touching each other.
But
At least
apparently
you can
people
do
are
that.
playing the actual end Squid Game. Where like
Oh
you actually
no,
have to shove
yeah,
people.
I heard. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's really dumb. Yeah.
And let's see. I have one more thing. This is quick. Blizzard cancels BlizzCon Online. They're
Due
gonna
to obvious reasons.
yes. They want to rethink what BlizzCon is to make it a safe, welcoming, and inclusive environment. So I mean, with the pandemic and also obviously their issues. I mean, it's crazy like how many people are like getting fired or let go or quitting. The company, it's a huge company.
Yeah. To go to KFC of all places.
Yeah, so, all right, that's it on my end. What do you got going on?
Well, tied into Blizzard canceling BlizzCon, Activision Blizzard introduces a zero tolerance harassment policy,
Okay.
which is like a kind of seems like it should have been there years ago kind of
Mhm.
thing. Like maybe if that was there like 20 years ago, they could have avoided this.
Mhm.
But yeah, Activision Blizzard, they're introducing a zero tolerance harassment policy due to obvious reasons. And then and other news, I forgot who it was, but one of the CEOs of Blizzard took a huge pay cut.
Mhm.
And then he's continuing to take a huge pay cut until they sort things out. People are like, "Oh, good, the money's going to go to the workers," and I said, "I don't think it's going to go to the workers. I think the money's going to go into the game development, which is what
Mhm.
I would have done the same thing, like personally, because it's like, yes, the problem is your work environment, and you should be putting the money into that and fixing that. But at the same time, if you don't do a good game soon, man, if you don't like do something good for these fans soon, like even if Overwatch 2 is like a like a massive international phenomenon,
Mm-hmm.
people are still gonna have this horrible taste in their mouth from all the horrible shit that they've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about harassment. I'm just talking about the games, the
Mm-hmm.
horrible freaking games that they've done, and like the problems that have come out. Um, but yeah, uh, swiftly moving on. I've actually got a bunch of little tiny news bits here. One of the most interesting ones that I've seen come out recently, and it's been talking about a lot, is that Warner Brothers is well, there's a leak, and it's like it hasn't been confirmed, but every single time someone does like a video on it or like a deep dive with the data
Mm-hmm.
mining, they're getting like their videos taken down by Warner Brothers. So that's kind of confirmation. But Warner Brothers is working on their own Smash Bros. Style fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Someone said it might be called the Multiverses. I think that would be funny. I would like that, the
Mm-hmm.
Multiverses. The reason why I think a funny name makes sense is because when you when you have Cartoon Network characters basically fighting with superheroes, it's gonna be kind of goofy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you got like Steven Universe characters fighting against Batman or Rick Sanchez, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they're doing this because they saw Nickelodeon obviously brought out their version of Smash Bros. Just most recently, and it's been quite well received by
Mm-hmm.
people who play Smash. They're like, it's fun, you know. I'm not a fan of the graphics because it does look a bit like a PlayStation 2, maybe early PlayStation 3 game graphics wise, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently the gameplay's fun. Um, so yeah. Um, let's see. This one guy said character select screen. There seems to be levels and fighter type icons. A couple of the characters that might be, or some of the characters that are possibly like the characters that got leaked is Steven Universe, Adventure Time, Batman slash Harley Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
Superman slash Wonder Woman, Gandalf, Rick and Morty, Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, and then just something called new character. I'm guessing that's maybe it's like a character creator or something. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But like Gandalf threw me by surprise. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of out
that's
of the
the
blue.
biggest. Yeah. Wait. Does Warner Brothers have is do they have the IP for that?
They might.
Did they,
It
like
would.
that's the one thing that confused me. Like I didn't know if they had the IP for Gandalf. Like or just the IP for
I. They.
Well, hold on. Isn't there a Gandalf movie or game coming out soon as well? Didn't we cover that a while ago?
Gandalf? No, there's
No,
a.
no, it was like
It's
it was
whatchamacallit? Gollum game. There's a Gollum game.
a Gollum game. Oh yes, and then we get to see Gandalf in the Gollum game. Yes, that's it. My bad. Okay, yeah. But either way, interesting. It's odd though that they're doing it like this would have been a good move before Nickelodeon did theirs. I do think that this will be better than the Nickelodeon one. It'll
Mm-hmm.
sell better. People are playing Nickelodeon based off of having a different Smash Bros game, but also nostalgia. You know, being
Yeah.
able to be Nigel Thornberry or Cat Dog or whatever. You know, they like that. But Warner Brothers has just got characters that's more relevant. Like people will play this game purely based off of the fact that Rick and Morty. You can be Rick Sanchez beating up Batman. Like, come on, people are gonna want to play that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if this is real, people are gonna want to play that for sure. Um, okay, we already spoke about the San Andreas VR thing. Oculus Quest phases out Facebook account requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Age of Empires 4, which I played yesterday. Age of Empires
How is
4
it?
is out. I like it. I like it a lot. It is not like the graphics aren't like super amazing or like realistic or in depth, and
Mm-hmm.
that's good because with an RTS game, too much detail it, things get lost or like you'll literally lose your people in your cities if there's too much detail in my opinion. So I think like the game looks really good. The graphics do look good. It's just it doesn't really scream next gen to me, but I'm glad that they kind of went with that because it's about the gameplay. It's an RTS, it's a strategy game. Who cares? Like honestly like StarCraft 2, I bought the cartoon DLC for StarCraft 2 and I enjoy that more. I enjoyed that more for competitive reasons. And that
Mm-hmm.
was like all the characters were like thick outlines. They looked like little cartoon characters. It was just easier to see. And I could focus more on strategy, you know. Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It took a while to install because it was a pretty big game. I think it was about 80 gigs or something,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes sense. So I've only played the tutorial so far, and it was oh man, it's fun. I played a little bit at the beginning of the campaign of the first campaign because I think there's like there's the different factions, so you'll have different campaigns. Um, I'm enjoying it, and you know what? It's apparently off to a great start on Steam. Age of Empires 4 has got a concurrent player count of 54,000 people on Steam, and the game's only been out for a few days. You know what I mean? Um,
How are the critic reviews been on it so far?
Good.
Hmm.
Everyone's it's well received. It is well received so far. Um, yeah, Age of Empires 4 is the 12th most played game on Steam.
Hmm.
And it's only been out for like it's probably going to be going up like more
Yeah.
so. Will
And then remember,
this
people are
was
playing off Game Pass. You know.
Yeah, and this article was on the 28th. It's probably already gone way up more. You know,
Hmm.
like if I had to like I don't want to check now because my internet's not too good. But if I could, I check Steam right now and take
Hmm.
a look at the top selling list, and it'll probably be like number one or two by now, I'd imagine. It is fun. I haven't played the multiplayer yet, because I still need to learn more about like the end game troops and stuff,
Hmm.
and like moving your civilization. I've only gotten up to the castle stage, like or the castle era, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of that like medieval type of era. I haven't moved any further than that. I'm yeah. It hasn't blown me away yet, but I've been having a fun time with it, and I'm really happy that I'm able to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and hey, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass. So if you Dennis, I recommend playing it. I know you liked StarCraft, so you
Yeah.
must have some kind of joy for RTS games.
I do.
Then
I do.
I do recommend playing this. It is it's just honestly at the end of the day, Dennis, it's actually just nice to have a new RTS game, like truly,
Hmm.
because the last couple of RTS games have sucked ass, or they've been like remakes that have sucked ass, and it's
Hmm.
like thank God we have a new RTS game that's actually doing pretty good. There was
Hmm.
another RTS game that came out recently that was like from an indie developer that also did really good. I forgot the name, but this is like a nice big budget AAA game, RTS game. I'm having a good time with it so far. Um, and I look forward to seeing what happens with multiplayer in the future, you know?
Hmm.
And then this is news that if you're following this or if you follow gaming news at all, then you may have heard about this because it went viral because it's quite funny, which is Far Cry 6. If you haven't played the game in a while, um, I think yeah, Ubisoft sends you an email, but like they make it sound like it's coming from El Presidente.
Yeah.
Um, uh, here's what I'll read it. Hola, Rojas. I wanted to thank you for giving me free reign in Yara. Take it easy and know that Yara is in capable hands. So it's basically calling you out. Like basically saying like, hey, thanks for like so if you haven't beaten the boss, they're basically like they're just calling you out, man. I love that. They're like, thanks for giving me free reign of Yara. Like, damn. Savage. But wow, yeah, what an interesting marketing strategy to get people to come back to play your game, you know?
Yeah. Basically calling you a wuss.
Exactly. Some people were like, it's invasive, but I was like, that's great. That's honestly like great marketing in my opinion. Because like other people are gonna talk about it. They'll be like, oh my god, like I wonder if you beat the game and then haven't come back to it in a while. If you have, I think it'll be different because obviously the message won't make sense. But like yeah, it'll be like from Far Cry 6, but it's a message from El Presidente. Wait, hold on, let me quickly. It says I can't read the rest of this. It got cut off. Surely you can do better than this. In giant bold letters on the email, it says, "Surely you can do better than this." That's brutal, calling you out. You
Yeah.
gotta go back. You gotta go free that country, man. Um, all right, let's see. Call of Duty Vanguard. Um, New on-demand texture streaming tech is expected to save up to 30 to 50% on the next-gen console and PC hard drive space, which makes sense to me. Like for a competitive game, you can't really stream the game, but if you're only streaming the textures,
Hmm.
then maybe that could work. And look, if you can save 50% of a Call of Duty game, like uh, space-wise, then hell yeah, like no one like I can't keep like playing and downloading these 100 gig games, man. It's killing me. Like it's not like I can download them fairly quickly. It's not that. It's the issue of like having to delete it, and then if I want to
Yeah.
play it again, like you know, make room for other games. And if I want to play it again, then I have to install that 100 gigs again. And but yeah, so I think this is smart moving forward. Um, very smart because they know everyone always complains about the file size of Call of Duty nowadays. It's usually around 100 gigs. If they can get it down to 50 or 60 gigs, that would be a huge jump forward, you know? Um, but it also makes me think that there might be a lot of texture bugs if you're streaming your textures, you know? So we'll see how that works out for competitive reasons. Um, Snoop Dogg leaked that Dr. Dre is right now working on GTA 6 music. Um, there's not much to say about that because obviously it didn't come from Dr. Dre himself, but Snoop Dogg said, I know Dr. Dre's in the studio. I do know he's making great fucking music, and some of his music is connected to the GTA game that's coming out. So I think that will be the way that his music will be released through the GTA video game. So that's coming from Snoop Dogg, who is close with Dr. Dre.
Hmm.
So that's probably gonna happen. Also, like Dr. Dre, in my opinion, his music, well, Snoop Dogg as well. Both their music has been very, like San Andreas, like also like GTA 5. It has that feeling every time they do California. Every time GTA does California, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg makes sense to me. Also makes me wonder what the next location is gonna be if Dr. Dre is doing the music, you know? Because he's a very West Coast kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean he's LA, you know, so
He is LA, yeah. And then Diablo Immortals closed beta launched today. I think I signed up for that like a year ago, so I might have access to that. Keep in mind that is the mobile game for Diablo. Um, and oddly enough, it's getting like kind of good reviews.
hmm.
It's people are saying it's basically Diablo 3, like it's the same textures pretty much. But then on your mobile, and it kind of works. It's yeah. So the closed beta came out sorry, 2 days ago. The closed beta came out 2 days ago, and it has full controller support. So if you are playing on your phone, you can still play with your Xbox controller or PlayStation controller. Keep in mind they have to be the version 2
Hmm.
in order to have Bluetooth, like the full Bluetooth support. So it's not the older controllers. The newer controllers will work on it. Um, but yeah, hopefully I can jump into that and try it out. Um, yeah, for a mobile game, it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Although I am currently playing Diablo 2 Resurrected, so I'm probably gonna finish that first. But I'm low key excited for this, which is funny because I when they announced it, I literally I said the worst possible things I could have said, Dennis. Like not just about the game, but about the company and about the backbone of what's the guy's name who was always the spokesperson for Blizzard? It always comes out and he talks.
I forgot his name.
He's got the ponytail. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, him. Like I said some horrible things about his character, and I feel bad. But it was just tone deaf. It was like, how could you possibly announce this? You could have at least said, "Hey, we are working on Diablo 4," and then announce this,
Hmm.
like in the same sentence. But the fact that they started with that, and like the fans are yelling, they're like, "Oh, Diablo!" And then like a few seconds later on mobile, and everyone's like, "Boo, boo." But yeah, it's actually turning out to be apparently okay. So
Hmm.
which is weird. I would never say that about a mobile game, but apparently it's turning out okay. Well, actually, that's a lie. The Pokemon Unite also turned out to be pretty good on mobile, though I still prefer playing it on Switch because the controls are easier. But it works on mobile pretty well as well. This is also huge news. What I'm about to bring up now. FaZe Clan is going public at an estimated
I
$1
heard
billion
about that. I
evaluation.
heard about that. It's
This FaZe
crazy.
Clan started in 2011, I think, as a group of like YouTubers who were just doing trick shots, you know, like 360 no scopes and stuff. And now they're going public as an esports like company. I don't know how you would really refer to them, but yeah.
Hmm.
They're gonna be and they're well at an estimated value of $1 billion. And I'm tempted to buy some stock when they do go public.
Hmm.
Uh, like whether like I don't really The thing is, I know FaZe Clan is huge, but I don't think that going public is gonna make them any bigger. Well, then again, that's a lie because it's like I'm sure that like they have millions of fans. I'm sure like their fans will want to invest. You know, I want to
If they can
yeah.
get them to, yeah.
The only reason I want to invest is because I don't want to hate myself like 8 years from now for not having done it. Because that's how I feel about Take Two Interactive. Dennis, if you invested $10,000 into Take Two Interactive like the year before GTA 5 came out, and
Hmm.
then literally like the year after GTA 5 came out, that $10,000 would have turned into, I think, 200,000 US dollars
Hmm.
or something like that. Like, anyways, but that's the past. We're not going to talk about it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to invest because I don't want to be like dumbass who like thought about investing and then didn't, and then turns out that like the shares go up by like 600% in 5 years or something, you know? Maybe not 600%. Take-Two Interactive, they went up 600%. Sorry, so that would have been $600,000, I think. But yeah, when GTA 5 came out, Take-Two Interactive, their stock went up 600%. That's insane, Dennis. I mean, well, keep in mind it is now the highest earning or grossing IP of all time, more than any movie or any entertainment
Hmm.
piece. Uh, but yeah, so FaZe Clan going public. We spoke about this a while ago, but the Nintendo Switch online N64 games, they added so you could play if you have Nintendo, you get Nintendo Online. If you pay for Nintendo Online, you can play old SNES games and NES games.
Hmm.
But now they've added N64 games, which for me I'm more excited about. I would actually get Nintendo Online just to play N64 games, but apparently they just released it and apparently it is not good. Like people are
Yeah, I've been
suffering
hearing that.
input lag, frame rate issues. Like the frame rate issues I can think I could get by, but input lag, dude, there are some of those games where you can't have lag. Like Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, input lag on that game, you can't. You know what I mean? Like how are you gonna play your flute? You know, I mean, you're Ocarina, so how the hell? I don't know. Anyways, it's just been out. Yeah, input lag is really bad. They say like noticeable. There's like an audio delay even. Like that's that. How do you have an audio delay for like games that came out like 30 freaking years ago? You know.
Hmm.
Um. Anyways, it's disappointing. Oh, it also comes with the Genesis game. Sorry, so it's the N64 and Genesis games that they've added, but the
Nice.
N64 games specifically is suffering bad.
I heard what
Um,
the controller is not the
yeah, there's a couple issues. It's so
yeah.
weird. An emulator used in Super Mario 3D All Stars for Super Mario 64 makes its return. What? Okay, that's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Anyways, but yeah, the point is the new Nintendo Switch Online Plus, the expansion pack is available and it costs it's $50 a year. I'm not gonna pay $50 a year for something that doesn't work. You know?
Hmm.
Like that's dumb. Anyways, we'll move on from that. That's disappointing, but that is regarding Nintendo as well. This is just worth bringing up, which I think is hilarious. The guy who does the voice from Mario says he wants to do it until the day he dies. It's been the same guy for like 30 years. It's this like surprisingly though, I don't know.
I saw him
I
at
don't know what
E3. I saw him at
I was gonna
E3,
say.
and all these
I don't know what.
fans were like, "Of course he wants to keep doing it." He went to E3, and all these people were like trying to get pictures with him and get his autograph and whatnot.
Yeah, this is moving forward, I suppose, because Chris Pratt doing the voice of Mario. People wanted like Mario to do the voice of Mario. I forget what country he's from. I just know it's this really old white dude. I think he's Dutch or something. I could be wrong. Um, but he's a super sweet guy. He's been doing the voice for ages, and he wants to do it until the day he dies. Um, an update on Returnal, and this is an update that when the game came out, the biggest issue with Returnal was that there wasn't a save point or like a midway. Like you would have to
Yeah.
go through your full 20-minute or 30-minute run. You know what I mean? And there weren't really a lot of save points. Uh, Anyways, so they've added a save system mode as well as a photo mode. Photo mode is great, but basically the photo mode and save system mode, I think they kind of work together where it's like when you enter photo mode, you're basically paused. You know, you're like saved because you can't um it's like a save state kind of thing. So you can I believe you can like I believe you can just save anywhere now at any point in time. I could be wrong on it, but yeah. Sorry, it's a suspend cycle. While the suspend cycle creates a save state, the save state is not permanent and can only be reloaded once. Better than nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Consider that was the biggest issue for some people. I still really want to play this game, but I do not have a PS5. Hopefully, I can play it one day. It's oh man, it sucks because Returnal. It really is. It feels like a game that was built for me. It really does. Can't wait to play it. I'm sure you heard about this too, but they want to make a video game for the A Quiet Place. A
No, I
Quiet
didn't.
Place.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, A Quiet Place video game announced. The video game based on A Quiet Place. It's currently in development and due for a release in 2022. That's that's not far off. The game is being created by Saber Interactive, Illogica, and Epitome. It's said to be an untold story of survival in. It's just set in the world, in the universe. I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with it's gonna be its own thing, but set in the universe. You know what I mean? It's not gonna have anything to do with John Krasinski or his characters.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the first official video game set in the terrifying. It's gonna deliver an original story and gameplay that captures the compelling suspense, emotion, and drama. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna execute it, but that seems interesting. They're gonna be doing a game about it.
I mean, normally I'd scoff at that, but then I played that World War Z game. That game was actually really fun. So
Yeah, and I mean, and it just did well with the update recently that that came out to the game. It did quite well.
Okay.
Before we go, I just want to see if there's any last minute news that may have just showed up.
Yeah, the last thing I saw was the whole Nintendo thing, the shutting down the offices. So
yeah, this has got nothing to do with video games, but this is kind of sad. But Vin Diesel walked Paul Walker's daughter down the aisle for her wedding.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie. If I wasn't so dehydrated, I might actually shed a tear. That's like Fast and Furious jokes aside. That's actually like genuinely like kind of sad and wholesome, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see before we go. I mean, I have this article, but that's about aliens, apparently. That's got nothing to do with video games. Supposedly, we found alien life 26 million light years away, but whatever. It was on IGN, so I was like, maybe we'll talk about it. Yeah, no, there's a couple other things, but nothing really too big.
Cool.
Yeah, that's about all I've got over here.
Cool. All right. I guess before we go and say,
hold on, sorry. I think this one last bit that I forgot to bring up. Don't know what this really means, but PUBG's parent company just acquired the studio that made Subnautica, as well as I'm guessing Subnautica Below Zero. And Subnautica is a great game. I'm currently playing Subnautica Below Zero, having a great time. Kind of trying to fight my fear of the ocean at the same time. It's been horrifying. Even like when the game's peaceful, I'm having like severe anxiety being underwater. But I think it's a good way to push my limits as a person. But yeah, PUBG's parent company bought the studio, so most likely any sequels coming out will be coming from the parent company. But that's the last bit of news I've got.
All right, cool. I guess before we go, just say what we've been playing. I've only been playing Resident Evil 4 VR on the Quest 2 recently, but I did download, this just came out on Game Pass, which is The Forgotten City, which is...
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of playing that.
Which, if people don't know, is...
it was a mod.
It was a Skyrim mod, and it was very well received, Skyrim mod that they actually ended up making, and it's only like one dude mainly with like two people that kind of helping him or something like that, and like he's just put a ton of work into it, and apparently it's very well written. Obviously the graphics are, it's
supposedly like there's combat, but like if you're expecting to get through the game using combat, you can't.
Yeah,
from what I've been told. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a
very like you have to investigate, like you have to talk to people, you have to question people, and it's like, yeah, you can go around killing people, but like you might literally stab yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? Like you might kill somebody who you needed information from or something. So yeah, it looks. I will say I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know what this is, but the most recent thing added to Game Pass was this Alan Wake's American Nightmare.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that. Yeah.
Yes. I've played it before. It's Alan Wake, but they kind of like turned it to like more of a B horror movie,
Okay.
So
it's
it's a more action heavy than less story driven and more action heavy. It's almost like you're playing like a horror in a horror movie instead of like it's more psychological thriller. The regular Alan Wake, and then American Nightmare is more of like a B movie slasher style.
I'd never heard of it before, so I wanted to ask you about that because I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah. Same gameplay mechanics, just a different tone to it. So, but like I said, with Game Pass, man, like playing these, like, I don't know. I think I almost get more excited playing Game Pass these games that I'm like ooh, I'm interested in them, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy them or not. You know, like okay, like of course I'm glad I'm gonna get Halo Infinite on Game Pass and play that,
Mm-hmm.
but I would buy that regardless. You know, if I didn't have Game Pass or not. But I love these like the Forgotten City or the Scent or Sable or all these games that are like,
Yeah. For
ooh,
me,
maybe I
it's
should
like
play it, or maybe I.
yeah. For me, it's the indie games, like the smaller, like low budget indie games that just randomly get added to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think recently, a while back, they released this thing called Into the Pit, and I've been loving it. Well, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
love roguelike games, and this is a roguelike game, and but it's a roguelike game where you're casting spells. It's first person, and you're like the view is just you and your decrepit
Mm-hmm.
hands on screen shooting magic out of them, depending on what you pick up as a roguelike would work. Um, but yeah, it's what else have you been playing?
That's it. Well, I mean, a little Back for Blood. I still need to finish that. I need to finish Back for Blood. I want to finish Resident Evil 4 VR, and then I'm gonna start the Forgotten City. In the meantime, before kind of I go into full Halo mode in about a month.
Yeah,
What about you?
I've been kind of all over the place. Like let's see. I'm actually literally opening up my library here. I'll start with Game Pass because I play well, obviously Valorant because Valorant's the game that I play the most. It's I don't know. It's just I don't even know why I play so much Valorant anymore. I think it's just I'm used to it.
Mm-hmm.
It just feeds that competitive like feeling that I had, the craving I have. Like it's a very engaging game. So as usual, playing a lot of Valorant. Um, but at the same time, I've been playing. I've also been playing Back for Blood with other friends.
Mm-hmm.
It is Halloween, so a lot of people are playing Back for Blood this weekend. Also, Left 4 Dead. I decided to play some Left 4 Dead 2,
Mm-hmm.
just because a lot of my friends didn't have Back for Blood yet, so we played Left 4 Dead 2. Um, there's this game that came out a while ago. I think we spoke about it on Game Pass called The Rift Breaker. I've been playing The Rift Breaker.
Yeah, I've been hearing a
I've
lot of
been
good
really
things about
liking that.
it. Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Game
I've really been
Pass.
enjoying it. Yeah, you can play it with a controller too, which I had no idea because that
Mm-hmm.
obviously I think it came out on the console Game Pass as well. I had no idea. So apparently you can play this game with a controller. But because of the base building, I like using the mouse and keyboard instead, or like putting down my turrets and things like
Yeah.
that. Because it's
Perfect.
like
That's a
it's yeah,
perfect game for Game Pass.
it really is. It's really good. So that's been loads of fun. Um, then like I said, I was playing that Into the Pit game, which is like a very small like indie game, but I love the art style. It's very like
Mm-hmm.
pixelated mess. Um, and then let me quickly take a look at my Steam. I was playing Timberborn, which is a city builder about beavers, and like you make your little beaver town. I like city builders like that. So yeah, I've been playing Timberborn. Um, let's see, Legion TD2. I've been playing, which is like a how to explain it? Not really competitive, but it's like a multiplayer tower defense game.
Mm-hmm.
Where you set up your own tower defense, but then you're also sending enemies to the other enemy team. Um, and then I've been playing a lot of crafting games lately, like um, Dyson Sphere Program or Satisfactory or Factorio, like any games where it's like setting up your own production line. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like that stuff. I've been playing a lot of that. Got back into Gas Station Simulator because the game is good. I know it's hard to believe, but that game is good. So I've been playing Gas Station Simulator as well. Um, and yeah, like it's I'm all over. I've been all over the place. But mainly Valorant. Yeah. And I recently picked up a game that is not that new, but I got it on sale called Volcanoids, and it's like a survival world. It's like a survival game, but like there's a volcano that goes off every like 20 minutes or so. So you got to like get in your giant drill thing and go under the earth crust to make sure you're safe from the volcano, and then come back up again and harvest materials. But then people can come and raid your like machine, or you can go on raids. But there's NPCs, so you can play single player, and you just get raided. You get raided by these like really goofy steampunk looking robots, which I love. Like the it's been oddly fun. I think I picked up the game for like I want to say I picked it up for I think like $5 or $6. It's pretty cheap, um, but loads of fun. And as usual, starting next week, I'm going back to streaming Valorant Monday,
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays, and Wednesdays
Cool. And we have the link in our description for your Twitch
down
account.
below. Yeah, it's www.twitch.com/itsthespis.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, guys. So thank everyone for watching and listening. You subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Revog. You can follow us on Twitter. That's at Revog Games. You also can find us on, well, you can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero, Instagram, Dennis.tzng. Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitch. Oh, I'm about to sneeze.
Okay.
Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Okay, I don't think. Oh.
There you go.
Oh my God, that was like I was in suspense forever there.
Yeah.
I was like, are we gonna live in this moment forever? Jeez. You guys can find me on Twitch, like I said just now, at It's Thespis. There will be a link in the description. I think you usually link my Twitter account as well, but I'm not really that active on Twitter anymore, and I've deleted Instagram. Probably going to delete Facebook soon as well. But I will be moving back to Twitter soon. It's going to be I'm going to change the name to It's Thespis as well. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Facebook or Instagram anymore. So I'm looking to move to just Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. And that's going to be the only places you guys are going to find me.
All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Later.